Hi again, first grade readers. It's Mrs. Gummo here, and I'm really excited because today we're going to read the last chapter of Upstairs Mouse and Downstairs Mole. I want you to think about all the ways Mouse and Mole are good friends. And as we read the last chapter of this book, listen for more examples that prove they are kind to each other. As I read, think about what important lesson you think the author wants us to learn about friendship. And some of the things I did today to do that thinking, I made sticky notes with a question mark, a star, and I left a blank one too, so that after we read, we can really think about the book and discuss it thoughtfully. Here we go. Last chapter, the boat. Mole knocked on Mouse's door. Tap, tap, tap. Good morning, Mole, said Mouse. Good morning, Mouse, said Mole. I hope you like surprises. I love surprises, squeaked Mole. Don't tell. Let me try to guess. It has to do with water, whispered Mole. Mouse twirled her hair. It had not rained in 2 days. The flowers in the garden were starting to droop. She hopped up and down on one foot. Is it a rain dance? Guessed Mouse. Nope, said Mole. Not a rain dance. Mouse waved her arms back and forth as if she were casting a line. Are we going fishing then? No, not fishing either, said Mole. Mouse scratched her ears. She was hot from hopping up and down. Her arms were tired from waving back and forth. Swimming? She squeaked hopefully. Wrong again, said Mole. Follow me. They hiked along the path to the pond. There in the water was a boat. Surprise! Shouted Mole. My, what a beautiful boat, said Mouse. I have only one paddle, though, said Mole. No problem, said Mouse. We'll take turns. Good thinking, Mole smiled. I'm gonna put a star there. That's definitely a spot I'm thinking where they're showing each other how kind they are because they're sharing. Off they went. Mole paddled and paddled. Then he paddled some more. His arms were getting sore. They had passed the willow tree 3 times. Uh-oh. What's happening? I think we are going in circles, said Mouse. Here, let me try. Mouse paddled and paddled. Then she paddled some more. Soon, Mouse's arms began to ache. Ooh. I'm going to put another sticky note here because that's definitely another example or another part where they're being kind to each other. They passed the willow tree 3 times more. They passed the willow tree 3 more times, only now they were headed in the opposite direction. You're right, Mouse, said Mole. We are definitely going in circles. Both Mouse and Mole were hot and tired from all the paddling. Let's go for a swim, suggested Mole. They dove into the water. Mouse splished, Mole splashed. How refreshing. They climbed back into the boat. Mouse twirled her tail. Mole rubbed his snout. I have an idea, squeaked Mouse. Why not switch paddling more often? Good thinking, Mole chuckled. At least we don't tire as easily. Pretty soon, Mouse and Mole were zipping across the pond. When they reached the other side, it was time to turn around. Mouse and Mole were experts at turning around. Ooh, I'm wondering if they're beginning to figure something else out here. I'm thinking back to the first chapter when they realized if they both shared the work and did teamwork, they were successful. I wonder if that is what the author wants us to learn about friendship. Let's think about that as we finish Ouch, squeaked Mole. Something is nibbling on my tail. She yanked it out of the water. A fish flopped into the boat. Way to go, said Mole. Our first fish. Mouse and Mole hopped up and down in celebration. They waved their arms back and forth at the sky. Then it began to rain. The next day, Mouse knocked on Mole's door. Tap, tap, tap. I have a surprise for you, whispered Mouse. Let me guess, Mole clapped. Like Mouse, he too was fond of surprises. It has to do with pears, she said. Oh, look, pear, like on a pear tree? A pair of mittens? Mole's thinking. Do you mean pears like on a tree, asked Mole, or pears like mittens? Like mittens, said Mouse, only not mittens. Mole rubbed his snout. He kicked the dirt with his feet. A claw poked out of one shoe. Is it shoes or socks? Guessed Mole. Nope, not shoes. Not socks, said Mole. She disappeared behind the tree. Ooh, what could it be? Surprise! Out jumped Mouse. She handed Mole a paddle decorated with ribbons. Now we have a pair of paddles. A pair, said Mole, like you and me. Together they hopped up and down, dancing in circles around the oak tree. Mole waved the paddle back and forth at the sky. Plip, plop. Down came the rain once again. Mouse and Mole's garden never looked better. And that's the end. I'm going to put a question mark on that last page there because I want to ask you and I want you to do some thinking about this. What do you think the author wanted to teach you about friendship with Mole and Mouse? If you are using our little picture about how to discuss a book thoughtfully, you might think about it by looking back at some of the places I flagged here. We know that Mouse and Mole are really kind to each other. And in this chapter, they both surprised each other. Here, Mole surprised Mouse with a beautiful boat, but they only had one paddle. And once their arms were getting tired, they decided that they should take turns to paddle. And soon they solved the problem and they got across the river back and forth. And then it was Mouse's turn to surprise Mole, and here they are. So I'm thinking that the author wants us to learn that when friends work together, they get the job done much easier and much faster. Today, when you go off and read to yourself, I want you to find that in a book. Find the message or the meaning of what the author wanted you to learn. And you can use our picture here, just like we did the other day, to talk about it with someone at your house. And if you want, you can even record yourself and send it to one of your teachers so that we can hear your thinking. Happy reading.